Hey, this is Chax Breakers. You're the best host ever. Don't go for you. And the other guy is
Megafire, I think.
and returning guests. Cough, cough.
I am drowning my sorrows.
That guy. And we have some mysterious fourth person.
I wonder who that is.
He's some kind of French-Canadian guy. Nobody knows him, really. He just kind of snuck into the house. Must be a French-Canadian thing.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's Mandu. Spoilers.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Spoiled me.
Alright, today... what are we talking about? Oh yeah, Mario and Luigi, general.
Does this sound? It makes me queasy.
Yes, good.
Really wanted to talk about those Mario Luigi games, huh?
I guess so. It'd be a nice thing to cover. Especially since Dream Team has been out for, 2 months now? Or a month? A month, right?
Actually, almost 2. Actually, 1 month and a half. Actually, I think. Actually,
okay. Actually, a month and a half. I think. Mandu, 2013.
Great.
So yeah, Mario and Luigi.
There's 4 of them.
There is 4 of them, and there's 4 of us.
It all makes sense.
It's all coming together, the conspiracy.
I'd like to point out that we also have all Mario avatars for this.
It's true.
For some reason.
If you look at the video now, you'll see me posting each one of them. There they are.
I hope we can fulfill that.
I can. Just make sure not to change your avatars when we're finished. I mean, wait, avatars, we're all sitting in the same couch. Your faces, don't change your faces.
We're all holding pictures in front of our faces of Mario.
It's true. And Bob's drunk, so he just turned
Sort
into
of.
Mario.
Hey, don't be promising things that cannot be delivered.
Hey, I did it. I did it. If you look back a few seconds, you'll see that I posted them. Anyway. What was I saying? Alright, Mario and Luigi. I think we should totally do a, in there discussion about all 4 games. I don't know how you guys want to tackle this. Do you want to just go through them one by one and then just eventually mix them together and compare and contrast?
I guess.
I think most of us, if not all of us, say that the first one is the best.
I've been thinking that for a long time, and for some reason, that was actually, my favorite Mario RPG in general. But it's been a really long time since I played that last time, so I have to do it again just for a fresh state of mind and refined the tastes, I suppose. I beat that game a lot, though.
Yeah, here's
I would
5-6 times.
Go ahead, Mandu.
I would say that Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga had the best plot, but Dream Team really improved the combat system where it's a lot more fun, I think.
Alright, well, here's I played the game again recently, Superstar Saga. Recently as in, I was playing it last night, after playing Dream Team. I started playing it again before Dream Team came out, just to get myself into the hype again. And I think I'm at the Hoo-Hoo University, or Woohoo, whatever. The one where you eventually go and fight Kakalita. Kakalita, I don't know how to say her name. That level, and the game actually does feel different playing it now and comparing it to the... Mandu's totally right. Dream Team does take the cake for combat. it definitely feels better. Superstar Saga, though, in its own respect, I think it handled the bro moves better, just because they actually felt like bro moves. And
They did pretty cool things.
yeah, they did. It was a lot more creative because Luigi and Mario both had different moves that they pull off. I won't say radically different. Well, yeah, it fit to their own element.
Actually, the bro moves were like team versions of their solo moves, which was really neat.
Yeah, like the ones that you do in the overworld.
Yes.
Yeah, like Splash Bros, I think, is the one that you the spin move on the overworld where Mario gets on top of Luigi and then they spin in like a tornado and go forward or back, whatever. They do that in the battle phase too. Mario gets on top of Luigi, they spin, and then they just like land on the enemy as a top spin.
Also, I really like the advanced versions of the bro moves also. Like, they're most of them are really circumstantial, but they're still wonderful. Like, it's a wonderful secret to put there.
It's a wonderful thing in general. It's like, I wish they brought that back, actually, but I don't see how they would use it. I guess that's the thing about the new moves. They don't seem very manipulative in terms of the advances. You can't really put one in. I mean, maybe you could think of something like for the shell move and Partners in Time and Dream Team. Maybe like instead of kicking it, you press, I don't know, some other button as it's approaching Mario or Luigi, and it'll do some other super duper. I don't fucking know. Get creative.
Reverse the controls.
Yeah.
Like,
Get creative.
If Mario like hopped on Luigi's shell,
Oh yeah.
and then he uses hammer to power it up or something.
Or like he's
But I don't
spinning.
know.
He takes out his hammer and he just like spins with the shell, and it just does like a little tornado hammer thing as it's rolling
Yes.
back. We should be in development of the bro moves for the next Super Mario. Mario Luigi. I totally broke all of them.
Did they already do that technically with Partners in Time?
Actually, yes, they did. That's what I took it from.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
It's the baby that's like on top of the shell, though, in Partners in Time.
I don't remember jack shit for Partners in Time.
Oh.
Well, no, I remember everything that's not like combat based, and then the combat I don't. What I do like about Partners in Time is the introduction of these item based bro moves. They were interesting, and I wish that they only stuck with only one use. Like, they didn't bring it back again and again. It's kind of a shame. It's like they're kind of recycling it in a way, and it's getting stale.
Recycling what now?
The bro item moves thing. It's like they went from them being literal items in Partners in Time to them being like puzzle piece moves that you have to find, and then they just kind of turned into the same thing in Dream Team as Bowser's Inside Story.
That's kind of lame.
And even worse is like you have to find separate ones for Mario and Luigi, but the moves are basically the same. They're exactly the same, unless I haven't gotten to the point when they change.
They do change. The only similar moves they have are the red and green shells. That's really about it.
Oh, really?
Like, they decided to make the shells like clone moves for some reason.
Okay, I was just assuming that it would be Fire Flower as well. So.
I was when I got the Fire Flower, I thought the Ice Flower was going to be the other one, but I was wrong, and I was pleasantly surprised by this.
Oh, that's good.
I guess since we're on the subject of the brothers' moves and Dream Team, I feel like Dream Team almost completely fucking nailed it with combat, Not that the game still has like these other flaws, which I guess I'll get into later. But like some of I like how they handle like equipment and all that. And also when you also has a rank up system, and you have like a bunch of perks to choose from when you rank up, like extra gear or extra power, etc. But some of the brothers moves just did not feel very good to execute, if that makes any sense.
I do.
I
understand.
guess namely some of the gyro ones that you get later on, and you also get a gyro one in the Dream World, I think, at the very beginning.
Oh, I actually didn't mind the gyro one in the beginning, but I only have, excuse me, I only have 2 of them. I only have the stacking one and the ball, the gyro Luigiation.
I think there's only one gyro that you use in the Dream World.
Oh, I was going to assume that all of the Dream World ones were going to be gyro, and then all the brother ones are. To be honest, the gyro isn't putting me off that much. No, actually,
it's kind of lame.
It's better. Gyro and Dream Team is better in some places than in others. Like one of in the real world, one of Luigi's brothers' attacks is a gyro move, but actually many of them are. But one in particular is actually like not that hard to control at all. But then you have like shit like any gyro segment in the giant battles, and they were just like a pain in the ass to control. You'd have to remember like your center point, a balance. So it was like trying to tilt your DS around like this. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but this is what I'm doing, and it controls like gas, because once you lose your center point, you pretty much just like take damage until you die. That really isn't the only reason in particular that I did not like the giant battles, if you'll allow me to talk about that right now.
I never liked the giant battles. Like, they were a huge hassle in the Bowser's Side Story. They were really fun. I mean, they were kind of nice to look at, but it's like, this is bringing nothing interesting to the table.
It's the same deal in Dream Team, except they're actually like much slower. Is the thing. Like I feel like they all take forever. First of all, on the cinematic.
How do you make them slower?
Because they
you
added
just
like
do.
Cinematic moments to them.
Well, they already had cinematic moments.
Well,
yeah, there's not.
Go ahead.
There's just not like. It's just so much shit to watch, and it's really badly proportioned in terms of like how much gameplay you're actually doing. And even if they were like really well paced, the whole thing would just seem like a giant QTE fight, quick time event fight, because the giant fights themselves aren't actually affected by your stats and what you've been doing your whole playthrough. They're just like little, if you'll pardon the pun, they're like giant gimmick segments.
And it doesn't help that they're so easy to fuck up too. Like, seriously, if you fuck up too much, you're gonna have to watch the entire fight again from the beginning.
What I did kind of get from the first giant battle is that Bob's right, it does get a lot slower, because there's like this, I don't know if this was just me or if this is actually what happened, but in the first giant battle, when you get the boss to like half health or something, he does like this super B move that you can't dodge at first. It's kind of like a little cinematic of you getting hit, just so you can learn how to use the mushrooms to heal yourself. And
They only pull that like once in the whole game, just so you know.
I'm glad they do that. I thought they were just showcasing. I thought they would be like showcasing each boss's like super move that you have to get a hit on, or you get hit by.
Yeah, the fights are bullshit, but not for that reason. You don't have to worry about that.
All right, that's good. I actually kind of like that. I mean, in a way it was dumb, but in the way it was like really. It made sense, because it's like unexpected to Luigi, so he just kind of like wasn't prepared for it, and then the next time he was.
What takes the longest in those giant battles is these 15 to 30 second cutscenes that ensues every time you hit the boss in question, basically.
Yeah, in Bowser's Inside Story, you hit them, they go back, you move forward, they hit you, same thing happens. In this one, it's like you hit, you do this little jazz hands walk back, and then they recuperate, and it's a pretty long process.
Yeah,
I
at
think-
least in Bowser's Death Story, they weren't fucking stressful because it in 20 minutes at a time.
I think what they were trying to do with Dream Team is just kind of showcase the, hey, look, we have models. Look at these models. You like the models? We can animate.
Yeah,
We
the
don't need
cinematics were
sprites.
awful. The cinematics were awful, so I guess they were having a little bit of fun with that.
Yeah. They weren't
But
horrible. They were just long.
I really prefer the sprites in Dream Team than the models, though. Even though the models are well adapted to the style, but the sprites are so gorgeous. It's crazy.
Honestly,
Yeah, I like the way
agree.
they look too.
There's just something about the Superstar Saga sprites, though, that's just really you just kind of gravitate towards those sprites because they look really nice. Like even now, even going from Dream Team to Superstar Saga, I still really enjoy the sprites in SS. I don't know.
The thing
why.
about this Superstar Saga sprites is that they're simple, but they're pretty. They're so good to look at. They're
really-
well animated and shit.
Yeah, they've got plenty of what is it called? Frames.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry if I'm swearing too much in your podcast, Megafire.
Did you even swear? I don't even. We don't. I don't really mind.
I missed it.
Okay.
I don't
You
mind.
guys are deaf.
On the subject of Superstar Saga, though, I'd like to just take a little step back and just kind of like look through the game on its own. Just Superstar Saga. Game had a really, really good story. It was a really organic feel to it. Like, in the beginning, it started off a little bit slow, but then things kind of like picked up, and they got a little hectic, and all these different factors started to just kind of play into the story, and like how you had to approach, like how you approached the world that you were put in. And it just felt really organic. It felt like a literal saga. Like if you're watching a show, that's how it felt. It was really nice. It was a really
Like
good
a-
touch.
Like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, I guess. More like
I kind of felt more or less the same way with that game.
yeah. It was. I wish they
It was
actually did
pretty
that.
nice.
If only we still got Mario cartoons.
Well, if they made a Mario like anime / cartoon of I don't
Here
mean that
comes
this-
Mario X.
I just mean just solely of the Mario and Luigi series. In particular, the Superstar Saga. That's kind of... I don't know, Superstar Saga was just like, the best part about it was the story. And at the time, the gameplay was really nice. I liked it a lot. The whole...
But now it's shit.
No, it's not shit. I mean, it's just, it's kind of like... I don't know if they had a lot of RPGs that like gave you the full-on ability to dodge, complete damage, and counterattack in such a sense as MML did.
I really thought about it, and I think that, I think the concept was new at the time, so they had no choice but to, spare some, they made it kind of easy-ish, I guess, because, well, I don't know, really.
Sure. Some of the bosses are tough, but, other than that, it's kind of simple. It's easy. It's an easy game.
Yeah, simple is the word I wanted, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the gameplay. When I was playing it, after playing Dream Team, the gameplay was really good. I mean, even now I'm playing it, but yeah, you're right. It's a lot easier. The only thing I have trouble with now is I realize that Queen Bean is actually really difficult to fight if you don't break her fists before she approaches you. The timing on hitting the usually she does a shockwave move.
You can knock her back with your hammer, by the way.
I know that. I tried to
Okay.
I tried to do a run where I just attacked her fists. Anyway, if she approaches like the maximum distance of, she starts like just coming up to you and charging up her fist and just smashing you. It's actually really hard to time the counterattack to that. Those are one of the more difficult counterattacks to pull off in the game. The fist shakes for like literally a second or two, and then it drops on you. And if you hit it too early, you miss, and if you hit it too late, you die. Well, you get hit. It is nice. It was an interesting battle. It was certainly a lot harder that way.
That kind of reminds me of all the times where they'll design enemies or bosses where you have to figure out like, oh, are they going for Mario or Luigi? And sometimes they'll design it so you have to actually react and you don't cheese it by being a jerk who controls both at the same time. Like use Mario and Luigi's hammers at the same time. Like,
I do it all the time.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll make it so you can't do that, but from what I remember, most of the time, from all the games, they just they don't.
In just specifically Superstar Saga, I think most of the battles are really easy in that sense that they give you the ability to just hold A and B to do the hammer counterattack, and whoever it lands on, you can just attack, and you won't really get a penalty because the other person doesn't get attacked. I think just most of the battles were like that. I mean, maybe like a few enemies did a thing where it was like throw something at Mario and attack Luigi or some shit like that.
I think Bowser's Inside Story did the same thing where I could just jump at the same time as both of them and it didn't matter.
I don't remember anything about the Mario and Luigi's stuff in that game. I actually barely even remember the sprites. I don't even remember the sprites, oh my god.
Boy, you and your memory. Speaking of forgetting about games, what about Partners in Time?
Well, we're still on Superstar Saga, that's why I didn't jump anywhere.
That game's
Bob
about Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
Right now, nothing in particular. Just the fact that like I played it a shit ton of times back in the day for some reason, and I'm waiting to just find out why. Because after I beat Dream Team, I decided to like play the rest of the series backwards. But next on my list is Partners in Time, because Bowser's Inside Story is pretty much done.
Oh boy.
And that's going to be the interesting part, because that's like Dorko said, that's the game out of the series that I remember the least of. Other than the fact that it's like supposed to be the least good.
The black sheep of the family.
I guess so.
I don't even really know why. It's just kind of naturally forgettable.
I heard something like it had like not very good pacing or something, but I don't know. That's just some shit I heard, so I have to figure it out for myself.
Actually, I think
sense.
most of the MNL games kind of lose their pacing after Superstar Saga. Personally, Bowser's Inside Story fixed it a bit. Actually,
yeah.
There's
just nothing that interesting about Bowser's Inside Story, story-wise. Even though it's in the title.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. After playing that whole thing again, I feel like it just felt a little empty, if that makes any sense.
Like, not really that well done. Maybe it feels like fan fiction in a way. Like, the main villain is Fawful.
Yeah, I felt like there wasn't really a world that I was playing in. It was just it was like a very small number of guys that it was revolved around, which for an RPG is like pretty empty.
Yeah, I hardly.
I had fun with the game, but it just also the weird part about it is that despite being called Bowser's Inside Story, I don't feel like there was enough shit to do with Bowser.
It had a lot of Bowser stuff, huh?
Like it was fun. It was fun, but I don't know. It just felt cut short. But I shouldn't ask for a longer game, because it actually started to get a little repetitive near the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I criticize Dream Team for, is like being like really drawn out. There's a lot of stuff to do in Dream, there's kind of a lot of stuff to do in Dream Team, but every place in that game feels like it takes a little bit too long. Yeah, the whole game's like 30 hours. And for as much as you do, I felt like it was a little bit overkill. It's funny because I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I can agree with you about Bowser's Inside Story being it doesn't feel like a world. I hear myself. Bob.
I'm glad you agree. You're not. That's something I do wrong. But I'm glad you got this anyway because it's just so straightforward, empty.
Yeah, it's because going from Superstar Saga, like I said, you had a more organic world because it was all like kind of intertwined with each other. And I guess that's what a lot of the M&L games should actually bring back, is a hub world. You don't really have a hub world, except in Partners in Time you have Peach's Castle, and it's really not that great of a hub world idea. I mean, at least it's something. Bowser's Inside Story completely removed that, which kind of throws off the pacing, and it makes it feel a lot emptier, because you don't really have... You have, like, these random characters that kind of pop up, and it's just like, what are you doing at the beach? What are you doing at the woods? I'm conveniently going through this path, and it's just kind of like, but why did you make this path for me? Why couldn't it just be like, go from here to here, go from here to here?
Actually, Bowser's Inside Story does have a lot of, like, a lot of railing to it, because if you go back to previous areas, you're not going to find anything in them, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be like, oh, you're going through... Like, the game is kind enough to guide you in the right direction all the time, but it feels too much like a path and not much like a world, basically.
Yeah, that's where the emptiness comes from. Also...
Wait, were any of the other games better at that?
Yes.
Sorta.
Partners in Time was a little bit worse at that, I think.
Great.
But Partners in Time was a special case because the world wasn't connected at all together.
Yeah, the world was basically like a literal hub world with portals in them. It wasn't just like, from Peach's Castle, go right. Eventually you'll hit, what was it? Dimble Woods? Or wait, that's Bowser's Inside Story.
Good job.
The other woods. I don't remember what the fucking...
the other ones.
The Toad Soul Woods.
There are a lot of locations to remember, especially when the area around Peach's Castle changes every game.
Yeah, that's
I like
my
how...
response to that.
I like how we were about to talk about Partners in Time when we just started talking about every game except Partners in Time. That's saying a lot, isn't it?
Well, it's because I'm trying to recollect my thoughts on Partners in Time. And
Can I say one thing about Partners in Time?
no, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to get to
Listen
it,
to
and you
them.
can say all of the things about Partners in Time.
Okay.
Alright, we've arrived at the destination. Mandu, go ahead. Lay it on us.
Okay, Partners in Time had like some of the most complicated controls for battles and for the overworld too. Like, it goes straight from Superstar Saga, which was simple, 2 buttons, to Partners in Time, which has 4 and some hilariously stupid sequences of button presses like AX, BX, AX, BX.
Yeah, I did like that about Partners in Time, actually.
Shit, for the life of me, it must not have left that big of an impact, because I don't really... it didn't leave a big impact on me. I didn't feel that shell-shocked by it, if you will.
They did use the 4 brothers gimmick pretty darn well, I think.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, they did. They did. It totally did.
I think that's a good thing that it didn't leave an impression on me, because it felt really good. Like, it just felt smooth. It just felt like a Mario and Luigi games. If they bring Wario and Waluigi in, that's what they're gonna do.
I don't think they could quite do that because
No, Wallow. You see, Wario will piggyback on Mario's back.
That's why I thought it wouldn't work.
Well, Moon, you're gonna have to draw this for us.
Oh, okay. Wow. Random drawing request. Got it.
I shouldn't have said that. I would have just. It's okay. Our official podcast artist is Moon Hood, brother of Bob Hood.
Right.
What else can we say about this? There was something I wanted to say about these on rails path thing. Oh, right. Bowser's Inside Story. You were basically pretty accurate in that you just move forward. You don't really have a reason to move back. Same with Partners. Okay, Partners in Time this is what they did. They were like, let's not remove the whole hub world concept, but let's not give people a reason to go back to anything else. So you're basically just kind of like, okay, I got this new move from this world. In order to reach the next portal, I need to utilize these moves and in turn get these items that I couldn't get before. And then, there you go, that's it, that's done. In Superstar Saga, it was like, you go from the chateau to like a different location, but in between that, you have this hub world to explore and get secret items and stuff, like the Golden Monty Mole stuff and whatnot. And you just like, you felt like you were progressing through the hub world because your new moves gave you further exploration range.
Right.
While in Partners in Time, sure you got more exploration range, but you really didn't. You needed to go that direction anyway to get to the next world. So it's more like it's a hub world. You can go wherever you want, but you can't go anywhere that you don't have a move for. So just go where we tell you to. It's like a fake freedom. That's the word. Yeah. Dream Team just follows the basic premise of Bowser's Inside Story.
What I've noticed about Dream Team, though, is that there's a lot of NPCs everywhere.
That's nice. I like that. Even in the hostile areas, they give them some kind of excuse to be there. It's a good thing.
So it's kind of like Mario Galaxy had that Toad Patrol or whatever.
Sort of, yeah. It's like, an example is the desert. They have, like, an excavation team, like, people that are just kind of, like, making that area safe for tourists. You know, they're reconstructing the ruins, they're stabilizing the desert, etc., etc. They're finding ruins to go archaeologist mode on. And it's just like, okay, yeah, even though there's monsters all around, you guys are getting paid for this. You're obviously trained to handle this, and they do actually. There's this scene with a bunch of shell tops. They were just hammering enemies that were trying to pop out of the sand. So obviously they knew what they were doing. They were trying to hammer enemies. They weren't running away like Toads usually do in every Mario game.
That's not true, except for what it is.
Actually, speaking of the shell tops from Dream Team, are those? I thought those were good. Those were the Nokia from Sunshine.
Not quite.
Yeah, they're not quite, but still. When I first played, I was like, "Are those the Nokia?"
They're running out of ideas. Rehash.
Except they changed the name and everything.
Rehash.
Yeah, they made a bunch of block people. They brought back the Bean people. Got Toads. You got fake bird people. You got those guys that I mentioned before.
The block people also.
Yeah, I said the block people. Yeah,
block people.
Oh.
Is there anything anybody else has to say about Partners in Time? We barely even talked about that game. I think
I think that basically just proves the point that it's not the really most stellar game in the series.
Well, here's
But
some compliments I'm going to give this game. This poor special child. The game had an interesting progression of story. I actually liked it. I mean, for a the pacing was off in the game, that's for sure. But in terms of like micro story, like for each little zone had its own little story. I like that. With the Koopa reporter who's going around and you help her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that in the desert, I think it was.
Forgot she existed.
She's actually in Dream Team. She.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people apparently they're like, let's bring back everyone.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if there's any other cameos from past games. Well, besides the obvious big one, Popple.
I mean, I want to jokingly be like rehash, but at the same time, there's these situations where like I wish that character would come back. Like all those classic Paper Mario characters that are basically dead.
Basically dead.
Never gonna appear again. I mean,
maybe. Maybe they won't even make another Paper Mario game because of the stellar success of Sticker Star.
yeah, I just live off the cash from that.
That's a whole different topic, though. Back to the Superstar Saga.
Oh, a completely different topic.
Well, sort of, yeah.
Hold on. I was gonna mention, like, I remember their chat conversation. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Like, Bowser was in Partners in Time. I was trying so hard to remember. I was like, where is he in that game?
He's in the mountain.
The mountain?
Swamp Mountain.
No, eventually I remembered.
Yeah, he's in.
I remembered his appearance in the freaking Peach's castle.
Oh, that's right. He does the poison cloud and running away into the past to meet Baby Bowser, and then we battle them in the volcano. Oh god, that's great. Speaking of the volcano, my favorite level. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Your voice is like 80% of all podcasts.
I'm sorry, I'll stop talking forever. I'm going to sleep. Good night.
I won't be harsh. No, I was just going off. I think it was like a conversation of like talking about Bowser and the Mario and Luigi games. I was like, wait, he was in Partners in Time? Like, just trying to remember things I actually do remember. Like, there was that big shroom Yoshi, and the game had PD Piranha and Mushroom Aliens.
Partners in Time used a lot more of the broad Mario canon than any other game at the time, actually.
At the time?
Well, actually, not at the time, more like in general at this point.
All I remember is PD Piranha.
There was PD Piranha, Professor EGAD was a big factor too.
Toadsworth too, right?
Yeah, Toadsworth was, well, he's in all the Mario and Luigi games, but yeah.
Oh, he was how did I forget him in Superstar Saga?
He
was pretty minor in Superstar Saga. Yeah.
His sprite is also really ugly.
At least they tried. It was like so funny when like for a year, I think it was years, but that one guy did like the custom sprites that was like Wario and Mario and Luigi style. They looked so great. And then like, wait, there's like an actual Wario sprite or two, and like they never used, and it just looked so crappy in comparison. Too harsh on it though, because it still looks nice. But yeah.
Oh, also it made. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Wario had a big head on that beta sprite, but other than that, yeah, I think he looked okay.
Yeah,
that's all I want to say. Though, go ahead,
nice.
Mandy.
BB Mario and BB Luigi were also like, well, the BBs in general were like a part of the Mario canon that wasn't really mixed with the current situation of the Mario Brothers too. Like going back to the past and meeting their baby selves was like kind of weird in a way. And you're actually teaming up with them too, which is like the weirdest thing ever.
Well, they did experience that a little bit with games such as Mario Tennis or the N64.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by exploring the broad Mario canon with like, because the babies were only heard like from Yoshi's Island and the sports game, so.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's really just typical time traveling stuff. I don't know. Because when I think about it, it's really bizarre how they team up and have the baby versions fight monsters. They were ready to be heroes at a very young age. But it worked out, I guess.
Maybe they're just not very aware of danger, considering they're that young.
Yeah, I
Just
guess
hypothesis.
baby Luigi was braver than adult Luigi, from what I remember.
Really? I never really thought of that. That's a little odd.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe not.
So Luigi was no, sorry.
You go ahead.
Luigi was technically braver until Luigi's Mansion happened.
Well,
That's another topic, though.
Mario RPGs were all after, or Mario and Luigi were all after Luigi's Mansion, though, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot
aside
of
from Paper Mario.
a lot of the
Well,
Luigi,
I meant Mario and Luigi.
a lot of the
Okay.
Luigi fear though plays important roles in the games. In Dream Team, it has a big impact on his dreams. Like you see all that. I really want to help my brother. I wish I wasn't a coward. All that stuff just flying around. His inner self is actually he's trying. He's trying to overcome his fears. He's trying to be brave for his brother. He loves his brother. And
Typical.
yeah, and in Partners in Time, going back to that game, they actually have a whole segment dedicated to the fact that he's trying to become brave. Actually, now that I think about it, so did Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
Did I say Superstar Saga twice? I meant to say Partners in Time and then Superstar Saga.
I think you got it right.
Oh, okay.
You got it right.
Yeah, the whole hypnotist thing. They should have brought that back in Bowser's Inside Story. Well, then again, it didn't even focus on Mario, so I barely remember anything from.
I think the only segment where you control Luigi in the game is where he's in a sock. Sorry.
In which game?
In Bowser's Inside Story. He's like in a big reference of the Kuribo shoe in the forest. It's a part that I didn't remember this until just now, so.
It's like one of the only very unique parts for Mario and Luigi in that game, isn't it?
I don't remember anything about Mario and Luigi. All I remember is the hardest level inside Bowser that I used to grind so I can do the arena modes.
We're very good at this. Let's just talk about these games that we don't remember.
Well, I think that should say a lot about these games.
Like what? They're forgettable?
Yes. Well, not all of them. Obviously, Bowser's Inside Story, the Mario and Luigi segments were forgettable. And they were. I didn't like the whole Inside Bowser thing. I thought it was a lot better when they were just out in the field.
Yeah.
I think that the 2D dungeons just got kind of bland like really fast. I didn't really.
Super fast, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general, I just didn't really like playing as Mario and Luigi. I just wanted to play as Bowser for the whole game.
I mean, the Mario and Luigi battles weren't bad per se, and they actually added that little badge system, which they one up that in Dream Team, but I think it was still like okay in Bowser's Inside Story. However, yeah, they didn't really handle dungeons that well at all, and it just left me wanting to play as Bowser more often, I think.
I mean, I don't know. I think with like Superstar Saga, like you're focusing on Mario and Luigi, and Partners in Time, there's the focus of Mario and Luigi and the babies, and then Bowser's Inside Story. It's like, there's something that interesting they're doing with Mario and Luigi, and I just don't really care like Bowser's moves at all. Like I'd rather just like Bowser's the new thing. He's the big like here's what's different. You play as Bowser, so I want to do that. But with Mario and Luigi, I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I've already done this for like 2 other games now.
Yeah, I think I was the happiest when you actually had Mario and Luigi go out on the field to at least collect like the puzzle boxes or whatever, finish up.
My favorite, collecting the puzzle boxes.
I was gonna say I mean like just not being inside the 2D dungeons. Basically, what Bob said, 2D dungeons got really boring really fast. And then they for some reason reused 2D dungeons in Dream Team, but the levels are pretty different. I mean, getting bland fast is definitely not a complaint, but there is some, just you have the preference of playing it out in the field and not in the dreams. If I recall, Mandu, you said you didn't do very many of the pillow missions just because you were trying to go through the game normally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's pretty tedious when you're going through all of the pillow things. However, they do make them pretty short, so you don't have to worry that much. Like, I think some pillows are just like one area in a dream, just like you don't really need to go to a different area to get anything.
Yeah, I know, yeah. They're short, but the longer areas are way too long, though.
Yeah. Partners in Time did a good job in not adding very much of the 2D thing, because I heard that they wanted to do that. I'm glad they didn't.
Man, when it comes to these Mario RPGs, when I'm thinking about it, I always have like a negative reaction when they force me to do 2D Mario platforming, like Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario. I'm like, I don't like these parts. Or because with Super Paper Mario, it's like I don't like this game.
I bet you loved Super Paper Mario.
Actually, I have that problem with a lot of games. They hold from 3D to 2D. As you know, that's like my Achilles heel for Sonic the Hedgehog. The later games, I mean, not like adventure and stuff. It gets me really upset.
The one exception I can really think of, well, maybe it's more than one, but whatever, with the Galaxy games is whenever they make you go 2D Mario for a bit, I always enjoy those. Which I thought was a funny contrast to Sonic, where it's always like, this 3D Sonic games are going to go 2D, I hate everything.
I think Dream Team takes better advantage of the 2D as well. Like the 2D you do things in 2D segments that wouldn't be possible in the 3D segments. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was nice, I guess. It was a bit different.
It's alright.
I think that Partners in Time, I've already said this before, but it had a good idea with the whole items for sources as for attacks. It's kind of dumb because like, how many fucking grannies can get stuck in a tree? I mean, honestly, you're.
Honestly, what?
And nothing, I was just gonna say the same thing, with honestly added into it.
I think they did a good job bringing back the bro points, though, for Bowser Inside Story, because it does add a bit to the game when it comes to equipment and also like recovery items.
Not making the item, or not making the bros move actual items. Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get what you're coming from, though, because it does seem a little bit more generic than.
It's just pretty bland, I guess. I don't know. It's always fun to see the bros move, even though they get stale. Well, not stale, but you get used to seeing them. There you go. I don't know. I still use
moves can get stale.
Well, yeah, they can, but it's still like fun to watch them hop around on each other and stuff. Like, I still use Splash Bros, both the advanced and advanced and the normal one. It's just a nice thing. It's a nice little touch, and it's visually appealing. But like, the items are just kind of like they take long to execute, and they're just kind of not that visually attractive.
Like, they did well in Partners in Time, I think, but after that, it was kind of more and more generic. Until Dream Team. Dream Team does have some pretty cool items, though.
Yeah, the Koopa Shell thing is still cool. Well, I like the whole you come from the front to the back. That was a nice touch. Man, we've actually covered quite a bit on this, despite me thinking that we wouldn't. But there is one more thing we could talk about, and actually, it was something that I'm really looking forward to. The music in all 3 games or 4 games.
Oh,
all 3, because Partners in Time doesn't count.
Mandu, what is your favorite soundtrack as a whole? We're not even going into just individual songs yet.
Oh, and can I say for every game?
Well, what do you mean? No, just out of the 4 games, which one do you think is your favorite?
Oh,
soundtrack?
that's a hard one.
That's pretty tough.
I'd say for well, to be honest, like, I'm gonna go with the generic option and say Dream Team's boss battle music, because that one is really, really good.
Yeah, I personally,
But if I wanted to be more creative, though, I'd say the Bean Bean Grounds and Superstar Saga.
be a bit more creative. Actually, I thought that was kind of overall accepted answer. Personally, I like the Cackletta boss battle music in Superstar Saga, because it was like, it had the accordion that everybody loves from the Bowser's Inside Story battle. It's just really good. I don't know. I adore it. Best battle music in any of the games. Bob, what is yours?
That's a really hard question, because
You should have
a lot
studied.
of these games,
Gave you a rubric.
a lot of these games have pretty solid music. My safest option is just the boss theme from Dream Team, but again, that's just like my emergency go-to decision. So of course I haven't put much thought into it, but I really do like it. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. What about you, Dorky Porky?
My favorite is just the Superstar Saga battle music, because that song just makes me happy. It's like pure happiness. It's kind of weird for battle music, but hey, it works really well.
Yeah.
And I guess a good runner-up is probably just the music when you fight Popple for the first time with the Rookie.
I like the remix that when you fight him again.
Not familiar with that one.
I don't remember any remakes.
Oh, I guess it was part of the soundtrack. It might not have been in the game. I don't know. I think there is one. The one when you fight him in the Bean or in the university.
No, you fight Popple 4 times, and the music is the same thing like every time.
Wait.
I thought there was one that was different.
It just must have been a bonus that came with whatever soundtrack you found.
Maybe, probably. Still a good one. I recommend searching it up. It's a good one. I'm trying to think which game had the best soundtrack overall. So that's a tougher one. I mean, I think the safest thing to say is that Superstar Saga had the best. Like, it had the most soundtracks that were just really good.
Yep.
Like, tracks, I mean, not soundtracks. And then I think a close second is Bowser's Inside Story. To me, at least, personally. Dream Team has... I don't know. I just don't like the music for any of the levels so far in the Dream levels.
I like Dreamy Pillow Castle, though. That was my favorite of the
Yeah, I recall you mentioning...
Dream section levels, yeah.
Just not my cup of tea, I guess. I didn't really appreciate it much.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I mean, I actually really like the track they use for the forest level in Dream Team, but other than that, I feel like the overworld music for Dream Team was overall not really very outlandish. It was okay, like it worked for what they were, but it's not something that I'm willing to just go out of my way and listen to.
Mm.
At least the battle themes had something going for them.
Yeah, well, in a way they did. I mean, you have to learn to deal with it. Like, the music... I think the biggest problem for me is that the music repeats a lot in all of the games, and you just kind of like, I need to program myself to just not get frustrated with this, because the music is nice sometimes. I remember getting impatient with the Dream Team boss battle music just because it was like, I don't know, it just didn't feel so spectacular as everybody makes it out to be. It's a really good one, but it's just not, can I keep coming back to this type deal going for it?
They use it. I do like the theme a lot, but they use it so many times that I think they could have used more like unique boss themes and shit, just so it didn't feel so samey.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Isn't Superstar Saga the only one that has that?
Not particularly. Fucking spoilers, because nobody saw this coming. You fight Bowser in Partners in Time, and he has his own theme.
Oh, yeah,
Just like you
right.
fight Puffle in Superstar Saga, and he has his own team, and Kakleta does too.
Yeah. Wait, doesn't Kakela share the boss battle music with Fawful in the...
Apparently, in the Japanese version, yes, he does, but in everywhere else, he has Popple's theme or something.
Oh, that's really weird.
And Superstar Saga. Oh.
Ugh. I was just thinking back to what Durko said about the Chow Garden and seeing Big. He just kind of ran away.
What?
What did I just say?
Chow Garden and Seeing Big.
Oh my god, I totally just had like one of those brain destructive. This is gonna get edited out. I think I just zoned out.
I was the one thinking earlier, what's wrong with you?
I was thinking of the Chow Garden music.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. No. Oh my god. What was I just saying? Oh my fucking god, I'm so done. This is all getting edited out.
That's good.
I just had like my brain like turned off. Sonic Adventure 2 popped into my head.
The actual fuck. God damn it. Right. Whatever. We have to look. It's been an hour. We have to wrap this up anyway. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to want to listen for this long.
That's fair enough.
Okay. Anyway. So yeah, there you go. That's the music.
Yes.
All of it sucks.
Yeah.
Worst soundtrack ever.
Except
Not
Partners
every-
in Time. That's the best game ever.
God damn it! Why aren't you all playing Partners in Time right now? Get out there, play Partners in Time. Best game in the series.
I was going too soon.
I'm actually tempted to do so myself.
Yep.
Might as well. Whatever. If everybody's doing it, I might as just join the wagon. Hop on. Go on the Oregon Trail of Partners in Time. Mandu, what is your
Yeah.
closing thoughts on Mario and Luigi?
Well, Mario and Luigi, Dream Team really takes the cake in combat. Superstar Saga still the stops when it comes to plot, and like pretty much any Mario RPG there is, except maybe the first one, Super Mario RPG on the SNES. Although I think Superstar Saga still beats that by a little bit. Like in terms of events, it's the most outlandish, wacky, and complete experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. And then, what about Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story?
Well, I guess Partners in Time was like the weird thing where they tried new things, experimented a whole lot. And Bowser Inside Story was kind of an experiment, but they had more solid bases to work with, and they just kept the base for Dream Team. So
And improved on it a little bit, I think.
well, they improved on it quite a bit. The only downside is that there's no Bowser to play as, really.
They forgot to improve some things.
Well, it's okay. At least you don't have a constant inside Bowser thing. Unless you decide to do every single pillow ever. Well, even then, you're pretty much playing on the outside often enough. Yeah, I agree with your wrap-up. That's pretty good. Pretty good nail. Anybody else have any final thoughts?
I'm not really sure why it ever came to exist, but I'm happy it did. It was pretty weird to have two different Mario RPG series, but they're both so good. It was like no complaints.
Yeah.
And even with all the complaints, Mario and Luigi's still doing good enough, I think.
I think the reason they made multiple RPGs is because it was like different developers working on it, and they were.
It was probably because one was for consoles and one was for handhelds. I know Sticker Star's on handheld, but I mean, you know.
True, but I was gonna give a more colorful answer. It's like different developers bring different ideas to the table,
Which is nice. It would be interesting if they did like if they pulled out like a new form of Mario RPG. Although maybe they could just make a new unique game instead. But I mean, you know.
Paper Mario and Luigi Star Saga.
I said unique, not some freaky hybrid.
Paper Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga RPG.
Let's have 7 stars.
Legend of the Seven Bowsers. Inside Dreams.
Damn it.
And with that, good night, everybody. Thank you.